Hello.
Hello, hello.
What are you talking about today?
Everything.
Let me try to jump in on your topic.
Go ahead. We actually just joined, so we don't have a topic.
I can suggest one if you'd like.
Go.
Oh, by the way, a question for you. Where are you from? I'm from Kiev, Ukraine. And you?
From Russia, from the Urals.
Alright, then let's talk about the Russian-Ukrainian war.
We don't know much, but let's try.
Tell me what you do know.
That there's a military operation going on. There's a military operation going on. That's what we know about it.
But why? What's the goal or reason?
Putin announced the reasons, I think.
He spoke of denazification and demilitarization.
No.
And you agree with that?
No. Honestly?
You can lie.
To be honest, I don't care at all. I mean, it's not like we're the ones making the decisions. Nobody asked for our opinion, so we just observe the situation, exactly as you do.
No, we are asked. But when they don't ask, we make our voices heard so that they can be listened to.
And do you really want all of this to keep going?
Of course not. Russia started this, not Ukraine. How is that? We are halting it. We are fighting back against those who come into our homes. If we lay down our weapons, they will humiliate and kill all of us.
You should pressure your president to stop the war.
He stops, and you kill us all, as in Bucha, Irpin, Mariupol.
Well, why not? Let him engage in negotiations and reach an agreement.
Russia has violated over 400 treaties, 411 international treaties, if I'm not mistaken. Why sign a 412th if Russia doesn't abide by them?
And what have you done to stop it?
Well, right now, thanks to you, we are raising money for our... Today it's the 122nd TRO Brigade. I'm demonstrating the absolute immorality of Russian women in this situation, who despite a war ongoing for 11 years declare, we don't know a lot about it and we don't care. How can you not care? If you don't care about Ukrainians, why don't you care about your own people? If you believe 1 million deaths is untrue, I'm certain you know that at least 300,000 have perished. And it seems to me that even 20,000 or 10,000 or just 10 people still hold significant value. And approximately 500,000 of your Russian soldiers have perished. Let's take the middle ground. That's a staggering 500,000 families, 500,000 mothers, and 500,000 children. And you just say, oh, we don't know, we don't really understand that it's Putin's fault, Putin. But at the same time, you're telling us we should stop the war. And so people listen to you and say, we need to donate to the army because there's no negotiating with people like you. They are amoral beings. They just need to be expelled from our land. Listening to you, I feel like reaching for my wallet and donating to the Ukrainian army, all thanks to you. That's how you've helped.
We were captivated. Thank you.
You're welcome. 500 hryvnia, that's 1,500 of your rubles, are now on their way to support our heroes. You see, our heroes will survive a bit longer than yours. Yours will die a bit more. Fantastic. And you don't care. But we do. We donate, and you don't care.
1,500. You'll show us the results, right?
I donate 1,500, 6,000 others donate 1,500, and that's 1 million.
I don't want to talk about it.
Of course not, you're speechless.
Because you don't listen to the end.
You just don't let me speak.
You just interrupt, that's it. With no respect for the other person.
Toward a person? You don't care that people are dying? I see no human qualities in you.
You're twisting our words. I didn't say anything at all.
You said you don't give a damn that a war is going on?
I didn't say the words don't care at all.
Well, don't care or not a damn, as you said.
Not don't give a damn at all.
Show me your most recent donation. Show me your latest donation to, what's it called? What's your army called? The Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation.
We pay taxes.
Everyone pays taxes.
And that's what sponsors the army, among other things.
No, you're the primary reason. That's why you are responsible for this war.
Look, we pay taxes.
Will you be paying reparations?
No,
From those taxes.
who pays reparations? The losing side. Right?
Of course.
Do you think Russia has a chance of losing?
It's already lost. When Hitler began the war, he lost. Russia, by starting this war, it's just a matter of time. If we show that a tank can just drive in, 100 wars will start tomorrow. 100 wars. China against Taiwan, North and South Korea, Iran, Israel. Hotspots will just erupt all over the world. Thus, it's not beneficial for others to demonstrate that the rule of the strong holds any sway, even though it undeniably always does.
Do you think the forces are comparable?
Of course not. That's the whole point. Even if you defeat us, in history, you'll be friends who attacked a country you should have protected. Your Black Sea Fleet was in Crimea and the Budapest Memorandum was signed. We give you nukes, you protect us. Then you, the world's second army, attack the 22nd. Who sees valor in that? How do you raise your kids? For instance, I will raise my children to defend the vulnerable and not be afraid of those who are powerful. But you operate with a prison mentality, you practice hazing. You're scared, you always grovel before superiors. Remember when Trump said we would negotiate? Putin started wagging his tail saying, let's extract rare earth metals together. But Ukraine. The Ukrainian president is in the White House pressured. He says, no, we won't concede or give up anything. So you are crushing a small but freedom-loving, proud Ukraine and can't even succeed, yet you grovel before superiors.
And he signed it, right?
Signed what?
Rare earth metals deal.
For the rare earth metals, of course, that's great. See, we have them, but before we can extract them, we have to kick you out of our territory, and this way they're already paying for them. Yes, it's like robbing the wounded, but it's better to pay with money. But Zelensky didn't recognize Crimea as Russian. He doesn't recognize Donbass, Luhansk, Kherson, or Zaporizhia as Russian. Zelensky did not agree to a troop withdrawal or to demilitarization. These are two completely separate agreements.
And you, what do you believe? Let's just put aside our personal opinions and how we perceive this situation for a moment. Just from an outside perspective, do you think Putin cares what Zelensky recognizes or doesn't recognize?
And do you think we care about your Putin? What about your Putin?
You understand. Let's just look at this from a rational side, okay? Honestly, if we look at this objectively, truly objectively, this is our opinion as a team.
And what is that based on? What do you read? What do you even?
We are for world peace. We don't want...
You're not the beauty queen of Alabama. No one is asking about your aspirations. That's what a girl in a tiara, a thin, pretty one, says. My dream is world peace. Do you even get what that means? World peace. Do you get the meaning of those words? How can there be world peace?
It's impossible.
Right, so why say that infantile, childish nonsense?
Well, for me personally, and I'm a humane person, I just really don't understand.
How are you humane? The war's been on 11 years and you said you don't give a damn.
Well, if you listen back, you're the one who...
No, you listen back. The channel is Stanislav Chumak here. I'll write it for you. Go on, watch it.
You listen back to what?
No, your friends will see this video. They'll show you. Write it down. It's my channel. Your video will be there. Great video. I love it.
I really do. We're very glad.
Great, everyone's glad.
That's great.
Look, it's about humanity, solidarity, and empathy. As for me, I'm worried about Ukraine. I comprehend that the only solution is for our armed forces to protect our homeland. So I donate, I help, I support, I'll go to the war myself. Well, everyone should, let's say, do their duty and defend their land. But you're sitting in your kitchen and don't even know there's a war on. You're just floating. The main thing in your country is the war. You honor your grandfathers, right? So what about now? Our grandfathers changed their ages to go to war. And you, after 11 years, say you don't know much? That's a joke.
Well, you took the 11th year from 2014, didn't you?
Of course. Since 2014, they've been sanctioning you with resolutions, conventions, declarations.
Because of a war since 2014.
Yes, due to Crimea's seizure.
Attack?
Yeah.
So we seized Crimea militarily, right?
Well, of course. Should I show you the video? The seizure of the Crimean parliament.
Show us.
Let's do it.
Go on. I'd be very interested to see it.
Let's do it.
From what I understand, and it's possible my perspective isn't entirely objective, of course, but I just don't really follow the news and such matters very closely. But from what I understand, there was something else. February 27th, 2014, if I recall correctly.
Could you please display the camera feed directly on the screen once more? What do you want me to show you? Let me elaborate further.
I just don't understand. You don't get it. What exactly are you trying to show us?
Surveillance camera footage from the Crimean parliament. You know, the forceful seizure. Smoke bombs are thrown in.
And who is that? Who is it? What is that? What is this?
Russian soldiers. They're capturing the Crimean parliament. See? They're invading.
Seriously? And that's exactly what resulted in the annexation of Crimea, right?
Look, so that there are no doubts or conflicting interpretations between us. Just a moment, please. Take a look. Okay. Okay.
That is a verifiable fact. We never tried to hide it. Our armed forces, to put it plainly, blockaded the Ukrainian armed forces that were stationed in Crimea.
Oh. Putin himself states they were blockading them. How many grades of education do you have? So if soldiers with automatic rifles suddenly burst into your apartment telling everyone to lie face down on the floor and you comply, they'll seize your apartment. Then the judge will ask, where's the resistance? Why wasn't there any shooting? Where are the casualties? Why are both of you still alive? Now, if both of you had died, yes, that would have been a seizure. But since you two are alive and offered no resistance, it means your apartment wasn't that important to you. So when the seizure of Crimea happens, it's due to Ukraine being the world's 27th strongest military, and because Ukraine lacks nuclear weapons and a proper army, since you were meant to defend us with the Black Sea Fleet. The world's second most powerful army is invading, and Ukraine has no means to defend itself. Ukrainians simply don't believe that Russians could act this way. They just can't believe it. You see, Ukrainians live in Crimea, including Russian speakers. Their children go to the same schools. They just don't believe that Russians could do this. But it's fine, thanks to you, we learn who you are. So if your apartment is taken without any casualties, does that mean it's no longer yours?
Wait, you just changed the subject from Crimea.
I'll go back. You say there was no resistance in Crimea, no casualties. If your apartment is taken from you without any resistance or casualties, would it then be considered to belong to those who took it?
Hold on a second. You're not even letting me speak. You're just asking questions without letting me answer. Well, you tell me, have you been to Crimea since 2014?
Of course not.
Well, I have.
And everything's so great there now. So when they take your apartment, just look at the renovations they did. Look at yours. Here, look. By the way, I have cool shorts. I'll show you my cool shorts. Rip and dip skater shorts. Look how cool they are. This isn't a green screen. Look. Wood is wood. It's not even that. It's more like plywood, not particle board. Quality, right? Parquet board. Tile. A good renovation. Now let me tell you, when I seize your apartment, I'm going to install a really good double-door refrigerator with a built-in ice maker. I will make a good renovation and then I'll tell you from the street. You'll be sitting out on the street and from my window I'll say to you, look, your apartment is beautiful now. Not the slum you live in, but a lovely, fantastic apartment. Is that analogy clear, or do I need to explain it further?
Not at all. Your analogy is off.
It's off?
The Crimeans were...
Oh, the Crimeans. People from Sumy under Russian control will come out and shout that they are for Ukraine.
They were driven abroad and told, look at how we have reconstructed Crimea. Is that what you are referring to?
Yeah.
What's the analogy? What's the connection?
Just look at how Russia has built up Crimea.
Guys, it's great. Ukrainians are living wonderfully. They live wonderfully, in good conditions, their roads are being built.
Can I ask a question?
Infrastructure. They even have toilets, can you imagine?
Toilets, can I ask?
Proactive? So proactive? Yeah.
Look, consider those individuals currently residing in Crimea and who, for one reason or another, continue to support Ukraine. What consequences would they face if they were to openly express their allegiance to Ukraine in that manner?
They'll be deported. Oh no, it's not deportation.
I think they'll be jailed.
Administrative or criminal liability.
Of course, and that's exactly how it should be. Right? There's a war happening. So why do you then bring up the point that they are supporting those who sympathize with Russia there? You understand? You know, there's a certain cognitive bias. It's called survivor bias. If we were to assert that dolphins rescue humans simply because one individual shared their story of being saved by a dolphin, sadly, all those who were drowned by dolphins would not be able to share their experience with us. So you only hear from the people who support Russia for one reason or another, be it ideological or financial. They say, yeah, life in Crimea is great for me. But those who don't support it will lie to you or stay silent because they'll be jailed. And during wartime, correctly supporters of the enemy, which Ukraine is now, must be imprisoned. So, talking to such people is utterly pointless. A question for you. They say there was a referendum in Crimea. By what law was that referendum conducted?
I don't know for sure.
Let me bring it to your attention. Under absolutely no law, in your own Russian legislation, advocating for such referendums carries a penalty of 6 to 10 years in prison. If you go out in your city and say, maybe we secede, you'll be hauled off to jail right away because that's separatism, which is a crime. Second point. You have many subsidized regions, for example, Chechnya. About 300 billion rubles from the budget go to Chechnya. And tomorrow you're working, and Chechnya, it's subsidized. It doesn't produce or generate anything at all. You work in your city, you pay taxes, you work, and you pay taxes. You've mentioned this before. Kadyrov gets your tax money and puts it to use. He uses it. They tell you Chechnya is a depressed, difficult region. But how long can that go on? Kadyrov is in charge, but for some reason it's still subsidized. Okay, so you pay Chechnya, you keep paying Chechnya, and then Chechnya says, we're seceding from you, see you later. And you'd say, hold on, our money is invested there. We were the ones who constructed your roads, we built these lights are shining because of us. So when any territory wants to secede, everyone should vote, not just Crimea for Crimeans or Kiev for Kievans. If Kiev wanted to secede, you'd have to ask everyone, all Ukrainians, do you agree that we, Kiev, should secede? Because Kiev is the capital of Sumy residents, the capital of Kharkiv residents, the capital. Do you grasp the essence of my point? So Crimea can't just up and secede because it's illegal and they didn't consult others. And a third point. For voting, you need booths and polling places. That's what the law states. How did they do all this in Crimea unlawfully? Who was responsible?
The state probably organized it.
What state, when the Russians had seized the Crimean parliament? Putin stated, Russian forces are blocking Ukrainian troops. Currently, Ukraine does not have any control over Crimea whatsoever. Ukraine doesn't have any laws in its legislation that allow for secession. Who holds this referendum, by what law, and how is it possible?
I can't tell you because I don't have that information.
But why haven't you looked into it yourself? Are you really okay with your country engaging in some kind of feudal land grabs in the modern world? See how different Ukrainians and Russians are? I would be absolutely stunned. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night thinking about how my country attacked someone. We had World War II. How can you just attack someone after that?
When Donbass disagreed with the Maidan movement, why didn't Ukraine just let them go?
Donbass wasn't in disagreement with Maidan.
But they were called. Why did the ATO begin? Why was that ATO zone formed?
The ATO zone was created? Because Gherkin and Russian military forces invaded there, specifically in Sloviansk.
And whose rockets were the first to fall on Donbass?
Russia's, of course.
Have you by any chance watched the interview with Gordon and Bondarenko?
Gordon and Bondarenko? Where is Bondarenko now?
I have no idea.
Well, they'll probably extradite her to Ukraine if they find her.
Well,
But she's pro-Russian scum. She is pro-Russian scum.
Wait a minute, have you perhaps watched the interview with...
And did you watch the interview with Navalny and Yashin yesterday? Did you watch the Navalny and Yashin interview?
I'm not for Navalny, I didn't watch the interview.
Then don't suggest I watch. I won't suggest your opposition figures to you, and you don't suggest our opposition figures to me. He doesn't, how to say it, he doesn't represent a Ukrainian stance. He truly projects a Russian viewpoint. And Gordon, by the way, does exactly the same.
Look, well, if you just go ahead and Google it yourself, you'll see.
Fine, I'll Google it.
For example, I don't remember now, I just can't tell you. No, I've already forgotten because I filmed that interview a year ago. The first rocket that was fired at Donetsk, directly at the center of Donetsk, those rockets that fell were Ukrainian. Not Russian, not from the territorial defense, not from that zone, not the militia, but Ukrainian.
Is that the conclusion you drew from what those people said?
Well, it wasn't an interview siding with Russia. They were actually discussing the annexation of Crimea, how that came to be, how it was permitted, and so on and so forth, and...
Okay, so they discussed it.
And they briefly touched on this topic. That's when this was even before the special military operation. This interview was before the SMO, they were discussing it before all these events. And it was documented, meaning they confirmed that, Bondarenko at that time was serving in some capacity within the Verkhovna Rada, or the Ukrainian parliament.
Right. Look, I'll show you an interesting interview.
Go ahead.
Alright, yes, let's proceed. So, look.
From a flight into space, where you can see that the Earth is round, look, they supposedly launched this huge Hubble telescope. Why have they never once pointed it at Earth? I mean, it would be interesting for us to see. Well, computer graphics...
Earth here, watch the interview. Everything in the interview is true. When Gordon and Bondarenko are sitting and talking, everything that comes from the screen is true. But here sits Yuri Loza and some host, whose name I regrettably don't know, and he's asserting that the Earth is flat, so then the Earth must be flat. Seriously, why wouldn't they point the Hubble telescope at it? It could show us the ice wall, and behind it, the elephant standing on turtles. So you're telling me that two people on the internet,